Okay, so today we're going to set up your audio interface. I've decided to use the Focusrite Scarlett 2i4, a very basic and super easy to understand audio interface. I'm actually going to do a different video on a audio interface show and tell, so we can talk about different audio interfaces and what's possible. But this is a great audio interface for getting started. It has a lot of the basic functionality and features that you might want in your audio interface. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do is connect your audio interface. So we're going to use this is a USB interface. There are many different kinds. You can get a USB, Firewire, Thunderbolt, Ethernet. There's all kinds of different audio interfaces, but the most common is USB. So this is the output end, and this is the input end. We're going to stick that into the computer. All right, so we're going to go into Ableton's preferences, and the first thing that you see is your driver type. So on Mac, in 99% of your cases, you're going to end up using Core Audio. Core Audio is the Mac audio driver. On PC, AISO or ISO is the way you want to go. If your hardware doesn't allow for AISO or you don't see it anywhere, you can download it, and I'll provide a link at the bottom of the screen for you PC users that don't have AISO or ISO drivers. That's it. It's that easy. So for the audio input device and output device, we're going to select the Scarlett 2i4 USB. Boom. The next thing that you see is your channel configuration. Now, what this is different audio interfaces are going to have different amounts of inputs and outputs. This basic interface has 2 inputs and a set of 4 outputs. This is a great combination because you could have an instrument coming in, a stereo master track going out, and then a stereo cue input going into your ears, so you could use this for DJ applications or whatever it is. But in your input configuration, some of these will be either clicked on or off, okay? If you have an audio interface that's got, 12 possible tracks at once, be careful, because if you turn all of those inputs on all at once, you'll have a lot of functionality, but you'll have to pay for it in terms of CPU usage. So only turn on the inputs that you're going to use. Now in the output section, you've got the same thing. And I should also point out that you can use them in stereo pairs, or you can use them in mono, dual mono setups. I like to use them both because my applications are going to change. So I'm just going to enable all of the inputs and outputs at this point for the purposes of this lesson. Okay? Now, the next part is your sample rate. So let's talk about sample rate real quick. 44.1 or 44,100 samples. This is the samples per second rating. Most applications you end up listening to are at 44.1. Some video applications, videos you watch online, or videos that you see on DVDs are 48. This is just a measurement of audio quality. 44.1 or 44,100 samples is CD quality. It's standard. It's a great place to start if you're getting started. If you want to get higher quality, different audio interfaces are going to give you different ratings. So as you go up in sample rate, what you need to think about is the fact that it's going to use more CPU to do this, as well as hard drive space as you're recording audio. Recorded audio waveforms take up more hard drive space because there's just more data, okay? So we're going to leave this at 44.1 for now, and I recommend the beginners, they do that too. We can talk about, and I'll probably do videos about doing higher sample rates and how to handle that and everything in a different video. But let's just leave it at 44.1 or 44,100. Your default sample rate and pitch conversion right here, this is important. Using Live's features such as elastic audio and other features within Live, there's a quality switch here, and the reason that this is here is that you can save CPU by lowering the quality. I highly recommend that you just leave it where it is. In terms of buffer size, I'm going to do a separate video about this because, man, this has got to be buffer size and latency. This has got to be the most confusing and frustrating thing for people just getting started with Ableton. But there's going to be a separate video about this, and we're going to go through all of the things you can do with buffer size and what buffer size is, as well as how to lower it safely and not get artifacts or anything with your audio. But for right now, we're going to leave buffer size where it is. Okay, so let's verify that everything is correct. I'm going to exit out of my preferences. And now, I'm not going to look at my MIDI tracks, but here in my audio tracks, I can see audio from external in. Okay, so external in, what that is it's saying audio coming from external inputs from my audio interface. And I can see that I, in fact, have input 1 and 2 as a stereo pair, and then 1 and 2 right there. Okay? Now, in my outputs, I'm going to look over here. And I should also say, if you can't see this screen, the audio ins and outs, if you look down here in this corner, I/O, click on I/O, boink, and you'll be able to see what's coming in and what's going out. Okay? We're not going to go over the other parts of I/O just yet. We're just going to stick to this area. Alright, so we've got our inputs. Now if we look over here in our master outputs, we can see that we have all possible combinations of audio, ins and outs. So our master output could be 1 and 2, and like I was saying before, a good thing to do is to set your cue output to 3 and 4 if you're trying to do DJ applications, you're trying to cue things up. We're going to go over cue in a completely different video as well. I'll link that at the bottom so you can see. But for right now, this is what the channel that your metronome, your click, is going to come down, and so on and so forth. So remember, you got to have your I/O switch turned on to be able to see these. But now we've verified that our interface is set up properly.